Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet and Savory, where, even though I may have just gotten this beautiful new chef's knife, we're not really gonna need it, because we are making bread. To start, we're gonna mix our dry ingredients. Take 3 cups of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1 packet of instant yeast. Combine in a large bowl and mix until well incorporated, making sure to mix the entire bowl. Next, we're going to add 1 1/3 cup of warm water, about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Too much warmer or colder will impact the effectiveness of the yeast. Now mix until a shaggy mass forms that's just barely holding itself together. This would be a good time to remove any jewelry or watches because things are about to get messy. Dust the countertop with about 1/3 cups of flour, making sure to liberally coat your hands in the process. Now turn out your dough, and it's time to get kneading. I'm far from an expert here, so really, you just want to work your dough for about 3 to 5 minutes until it comes together into a smooth, cohesive, elastic ball of dough. When we knead bread dough, it builds up the gluten network inside of it, which results in the final texture of the bread. Overworking your dough can result in tough, dense bread that's just unpleasant to eat. If you feel your dough is still a little bit too wet and sticky, feel more than free to add additional flour to the countertop and then knead it for a little bit longer until you hit your desired consistency. When you finish kneading and the dough feels just about right, it's time to form it into a nice ball by pulling it under itself and using surface tension to create a nice smooth ball. Now it's time to proof our dough, or let it rise. Liberally oil a large bowl. This will prevent the dough from sticking to the sides as it proves, which could hamper its rise. Next, place the dough in the bowl and cover it with a little bit more oil, making sure to evenly coat all sides of the dough, which again will prevent any part of the dough from sticking to the bowl as it rises and expands. Take a clean, emphasis on clean, kitchen towel, dust it with flour, and drape it over the top of the bowl before placing in a nice cozy corner for about 60 to 90 minutes or until doubled in size, at which point we will uncover the dough and then gently deflate it by poking it and folding it in on itself. Remember, we're not kneading the dough anymore. When it's deflated, fold it back into a ball, place it back in the bowl, recover it, and let it rest for an additional 30 minutes or until doubled in size. In the meantime, oil a baking sheet before once again deflating the dough before turning it out onto the baking sheet and shaping into your desired loaf. Here, I'm going for more of a traditional, kind of rustic style loaf. When you're satisfied with the overall shape of your loaf, take a sharp knife and score it. This will allow steam to escape during baking, which will prevent any real disasters. Once again, oil the dough, making sure to cover it entirely. This will prevent it sticking as we cover with the floured towel and let rise for 15 to 30 minutes or until once again doubled in size. Now, place the dough in a preheated 425 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown on top. Transfer the bread to a wire cooling rack, making sure not to burn your little fingies as you do so. The cooked loaf should make a nice hollow thumping sound when you tap on the bottom. And now, all that's left to do is wait until the bread is completely cooled, about 4 to 6 hours. A long time when your house smells like bread, I know, but it's going to be worth it. Because when you finally cut into this bad boy, you're going to be greeted by a beautiful sight: fresh baked bread. It should be nice and soft with a fairly loose crumb. And while this might not win any famous Hollywood handshakes, it's going to be loads better than anything you can possibly buy in the supermarket. The only real way I can think of to make this better? Just a little bit of butter.